All right, so part two, I was saying that this is the important issue at hand. Now, to get to the meat of it, basically, the local psych wards and the greater psychiatric facilities and my past doctors who have seen me on court order have violated the confidentiality agreements, have colluded together, collaborated, and they used the teacher who is in charge of the group's communication class at my school to do it. They have brought in staff, and how would a teacher at my school know to bring in staff to get a rise out of me from a psychic ward unless they're violating the confidentiality agreements? How would they know to follow me home and to come to my house unless they're using the information that they got from their position in a way that isn't appropriate, official misconduct? You know, why are they trying to get a rise out of me if not to entrap me? It was the police, the sheriffs, they played their part. My own parents had played their parts. My older brother was an unwitting participant. My school, as I described before, played the part. I described in my other videos how the sheriff department parked by my trash cans. They're trying to block the road, just trying to give me the old, we got our eye on you, except for it's not about the fact that you're a criminal, it's about the fact that you're revolutionary. The cycle of being a revolutionary. So, do you have any questions about anything I'm going to say?
So do you really believe everything is like by design? There's like, it's like a domino effect. There's an action for everyone. God, stop taking, I'm so tired, I can't even think. I'm sorry.
Oh, it's okay. Every action for every opposite reaction, okay? I'd say like this, it's like a dice. How many options are there is the guy, the creator of the dice. There's the creator, and there is the overseer. And they both get their applications into life as well. The creator, he makes the person who makes the dice, he determines the destiny. But when society gives us a set of rules and a set of options and everything else is illegal and you'll get arrested for, they've created a dice, an income dice. They've created an attitude dice, what's appropriate. They've created a dress code dice. And they are enforced by certain schools and institutions. There's people who are in charge of social controls and are looking for deviant behavior. And they include some of the people who used to be participating in the deviant behavior as well. Some of the past revolutionaries are now informants. And you can't trust anybody these days. So I believe it's by design, and there is a certain amount of coincidence, but the options are still there. The police don't control everything the person on probation and parole does, but they scrutinize them and control enough to try to force them to get a desired effect. All I am is somebody that they weren't able to put on parole or probation or to quote-unquote TCON them, as the psychiatric institutions call it. I'm somebody who stood up to them, whose dad is a quote-unquote a pillar of society, which makes my stomach turn that if I was a common African-American, that they would treat me with no respect at all and no regard for my constitutional rights. And it's the fact that my dad's a brain surgeon and me and him don't have to get along at the moment. So how that makes me feel? It makes me feel like getting with all my peers, and I'm not going to get into that, but at least I woke you up a little bit, didn't I? So, do I think it's fair that these things are happening? Do I think it's a coincidence? Do I think it's by design? I think it is absolutely by design. I would compare it to what the original beef in prison in San Quentin was about, when the guards dropped off a bucket of knives to the white Aryan gangs and the Bluebird white prison gangs that existed at the time. And they said, go get them. And that's what formed some of the original black gangs in San Quentin, is when they were attacked on the yard by a large group of whites with knives that were given to them. Did the guards say, pay them to kill them? Did the guards put a sign on the prison that says our job is to exterminate Negroes? Or did they use the existing institutions and the existing loopholes and their friends in high places and their networks that allowed them to reach those high places to persecute the political opposition? And they're no better than fucking Stalin, no better than Lenin, no better than Mao, no better than Saddam Hussein. Gaddafi is turning in his fucking grave. because a bunch of scum who are no better than Goebbels, Himmler, Schindler, and fucking Hitler, and Ernst fucking Rudin, and Eugen fucking Fischer are the ones who put him in his grave. And they used the excuse that he is a tyrant and he needs to be overthrown. When the #1 murderers in history are all European, all part of the Freemasonic power structure. It was a Freemason that bombed Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Big boy. We dropped the bomb on them. It was a Freemason from the Tool Society, Hitler, that initiated World War II, and it was Zionist Jews that put him in power, who are also part of the Kabbalistic secret society structure. So if you look at how it all plays out, whether it's secret societies in Russia, the communists, the czars, whether it's the story of Anastasia, the story of Gandhi, or Mandela, we have secret societies at play using institutions to produce an environment of racial animosity and the process of neutralizing the political opposition hidden in plain view, while they mock every revolutionary that ever stood for anything right. So is it by design when Willie Lynch wrote the Willie Lynch letters? When Marquis de Sade was whipping and abusing people? Was it by design when I made this video for the effect to wake my people up, to stop being oppressed when people start waking up? Was it by design when God made the world and the garden and allowed the snake to enter? Was it by design when the devil inspired sin? Was it by design that death and evil came into the world? Yes and no. But surely, if I was to choose one or the other, it would definitely be yes. There are powerful forces at play like the sun, the moon, the ocean, the earth, and the fucking scum. And the spirit you feel in church, that's what's resisting the scum. Unless, of course, it's a scum leading the fucking scum with a bunch of blindfolds on that they won't acknowledge to themselves are there. Because they've been programmed to believe that they can see when they can't. Sorry for rambling on and on, but I was feeling it for a second. Anything else?
Do you think there is a divine judgment that's set against them, though? Or do you feel that each person has to take it upon themselves to kind of deal with them? Kind of thing?
There's
some type of divine judgment.
The judgment, I believe, is death. That's the judgment I stick with all the most part. And Jesus coming back, you know, it could simply refer to when the world ends and a lot of people die at the same time, that Jesus comes back at that point. So, you know, and the Revelation is pretty much hinting at that kind of environment in the first place and saying some things flat out. So the judgment is coming for everybody in the form of man's